YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got another video here by Desu. Clout chasing YouTuber tried to cancel Dokibird and it backfired. Okay, I don't know who Dokibird is, but let's see what's gonna happen on the backfiring of her trying to cancel a VTuber, well, a YouTuber,
Hey, what's up guys, we're here. So today we're going to be talking about the fallout stemming from this controversial video uploaded by the YouTuber Katliente, or as she is now known as, Cat in Chat. So she made this hit piece targeting the VTuber Dokibird, which was a big mistake because she is one of the most respected and well-liked VTubers in the scene. She also has a reputation for going above and beyond to support artists, and in this hit piece, Katliente is essentially accusing Dokibird of scamming her own audience, having this charity PC giveaway where she did not deliver on many different aspects of that. Well, as it turns out, there was a lot of lies in this video that have been debunked by Dokibird herself. And as you can see, Kat bit off more than she could chew here because it's blowing up in her face. You can see the like-dislike ratio. It's really bad. And before we get into the details of the situation, I have some good news, ladies and gentlemen. The campaign has been extended.
Make your money
happen, okay? But anyways, let's get back to the content here. Now, before we get into Kat's video, let's establish the parties here and why it's so significant.
Okay.
So here is Dokibird, the subject of this hit piece. As you can see, she is a very successful indie VTuber, but her history is
very underrated. She's too successful. 400,000 just on Twitter. That's a lot. You can imagine her YouTube.
Very important here. So, back a few years ago, she worked with Niji Sanji, the VTuber agency, as Selen Tatsuki. This is her account. She was eventually terminated. She was fired from this agency in February of 2024. Stemming from many different things, but as she was terminated, Dokibird shared her experience with the company and all of the things that went wrong, including the favoritism in the company, the fact that Dokibird spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for various events and tournaments at Niji Sanji in their benefit, and she was never compensated for that. She also revealed that she was bullied by people in the company to the point of attempting her own life twice.
Oh, I maybe covered her. I remember her. Shame, dude. Yeah, it was just the company just didn't treat her right. I feel like that's the one thing which, as every single creator, artist, or if you're just working in general, you gotta always think about when you join an agency, a management, or a union. You gotta always think about, is it beneficial to me, or am I just doing it for for means to an end? Actually,
that bad. And how did Niji Sanji respond to this? Well, they made this infamous black screen video on YouTube uploaded by one of their talents, where Alira Pandora and two of her fellow gen mates, they made statements about the Dokibird controversy and essentially threw their former friend under the bus. They said crazy out-of-pocket things about her. They even revealed that they were looking at some of her private information. They even tried to basically say she was a dangerous individual that they're afraid of. All of it a bunch of BS.
Bullshit.
And as you can see by the like-dislike ratio on this,
it backfired.
This backfired horribly. In fact, I would say this is the worst PR moment in the history of VTubing.
That's terrible.
She would return.
Because it's, how do you try to slander somebody, but people see through your slandering that you're bullshitting them? That's bad. That's when you know you have terrible slander tactics,
To her former account, Dokibird, and she would have immense levels of success. Her debut stream, her re-debut stream, she would have over 100,000 concurrent viewers, and to this day, she is doing really well. And she is someone—
Dude, 100,000 concurrent viewers, you don't understand how big that is. That puts you on the literally top 10% of streamers in the world. You're up there, Like I said earlier in the video, she is very well respected among artists because she has gone above and beyond to compensate them. Even when she was working with Niji Sanji, the company wasn't actually providing any compensation. She did so out of her own pocket. That's the kind of person that Dokibird is. So who's the other person involved here? Well, it's Katliente. And she is someone who is the definition of a tourist. Someone who is showing interest in things they don't actually know anything about. You can see from her her profile here on Twitter, she is a content creator, advice TikToker, and also
a news YouTuber. Now, you can see the moment everything changed for Katliente. About a year ago, this is what her YouTube channel looks like.
Let's see. Oh, this was good. She was having great numbers. You know, she was very consistent. 1,000. Really good. She's upcoming. I gotta give her that.
All about giving content creators advice, right? All of these videos, a couple thousand views per video, right? But this is the moment everything changed. You can see the literal video that changed it all for her. This VTuber was scammed.
Oh, so it's anything which is controversial with VTubing. Okay.
VTuber drama, and it gets 93,000 views. And this is what her
Now, of course, you gotta pivot. That's when you know, okay, I gotta switch it up. She's smart. I gotta give her that, you know?
channel looks like nowadays.
Oh, VTuber drama, hell yeah. Nah, cause look at bro, night and day. Literally 100,000, 12K, 25K, 17,000. Oh my God. This is what you gotta do to be a YouTuber. You gotta literally pick up, okay, cool. What's working for me and what's not working for me. And you realize, okay, this is working for me. I gotta pivot to what's working for me. For real, for real.
She completely flipped the script 100%.
YouTube drama.
She did a 180 the second she saw that she was getting more views talking about drama. And of course, there's nothing wrong with talking about drama. Talking about drama. I regularly talk about drama, but the difference is I'm actually invested. I care about the things I'm talking about. Kat has over and over again shown that she is a tourist. She doesn't understand what she's talking about. And
I feel like there's no such thing as tourist or what you want to call it. You're a damn, I forgot the word, but like being like a tourist in any freaking topic doesn't really matter. People can have their opinions. I really don't care what, you know, as long as if the opinions are correct and not disrespectful. People can have any opinions about anything.
She tries to make serious videos and serious claims about people, especially in the VTubing industry, that she has no idea about. She doesn't understand the underlying subjects, and it leads to either dishonest information or, in my belief, sometimes
ignorance,
intentional misrepresentation of situations to fulfill her own agenda. Never more evidence
but I got views
than this video right here. I talked about this last summer. She made this ridiculous video about this Loi VTour group. There obviously had some controversy, but they were being absolutely blasted by a harassment campaign that went very, very strong on them. They were being harassed endlessly. They were being mass reported. They lost several of their accounts as a result of this. They were being threatened with doxing. They were being threatened with all sorts of things to the point where one of the members of this group attempted their own life. And after that happened, one of the VTubers in this group made a response on Discord where they were showing their frustration about the situation they're in. And Kat took that and completely flipped the script. She said they were the ones who started a harassment campaign.
No,
she blamed them. She completely misrepresented the entire situation because it fulfilled her own agenda. And when she was called out for this and she was exposed, she said it didn't matter because the people involved in this group were too small to ever put a dent in her career.
Wow.
Gio, I've been lurking for a while, and I don't know if you mentioned this yet. I haven't talked about the lollipop stuff. I will not talk about it on stream because I'm probably going to make a second video about it, but my Twitch will get banned if I talk about it on stream due to how sensitive the topics are, so I'm going to record it off stream. Didn't know if you mentioned, but worried with all the people that are with the lollipop group or organizing a mass report raid. Yeah, what are they going to do? Mass report me?
Yeah.
Nice try. I've already... Look. I'm gonna be fully honest, and this is gonna be mean. They're not big enough to put a dent in me. To be honest, okay?
Wow.
I already called out Gideon, and I had the entirety of Gideon's Stan fan base mass report me. So that their little lolly accounts is not gonna put a dent into me.
Ugh. Yeah, she confident. I gotta give her that. Damn, I don't know, bro. She was wrong for what she did, but at the same time, you kind of gotta humble yourself, you know, because you never know, bro. The people that you be swearing at, you know, these people one day when you're in controversial topics, they're gonna come. And I wouldn't want to piss off any group, no matter how big or small it is, because, man, that group can be very dangerous, you know?
So now that you have a sense of who Katliente is, you understand why people would be already very hesitant to see her talking about Dokibird at any capacity, and why this video is such a epic disaster. So it's an hour and 48 minutes. You better like this video, because I sat here and listened to her dribble for nearly 2 hours so I could present this to you. I'm going to give you the TLDR in the situation, because I'm not going to make you sit here and react to hours of content on something that she got wrong in almost every regard. But basically, she's accusing Dokibird of scamming some of her audience, where she had this PC charity giveaway where she had the highest bidder who would be who would receive a custom PC, obviously based on Dokibird. And this was something that was going on for about a year. The person who won this obviously gave thousands of dollars to this campaign to be the winner. And there was complications. There was a lot of miscommunication between Dokibird, her management, and the winner of this contest. But Katliente makes it very clear she is blaming Dokibird for the actions of her team, which is very important. Remember that later in this video. But then she also tries to say that there was no PC delivered, that the person who won this competition was basically shorted out of what they were entitled to. And she also makes a very strong point of saying the artist who was making this PC was shorted by Dokibird and her team, and that this is some big scam going on. Let's just get a small sense of what she was saying in this video with her introduction.
This is tea so piping hot. None of you guys have actually heard about it before, because it has not been posted anywhere. This is about a big VTuber by the name of Dokibird and a charity stream that Doki had hosted over a year ago. It's actually crazy how bad this all falls apart. Manager's like, why does it cost so much? Why couldn't you donate it? Right? How is this the artist's fault? How is this the artist's responsibility that your team screwed up? We're a totally different legal entity from the old company. The old company had no official agreements with you, and the new company is looking into this and also have no agreements with you, let alone take over things of the old company. To this day, the artist has not been compensated for their labor, nor has the bidder received a PC. And it appears there's a new builder who is doing the build for free. I made this document, so I want to make sure I'm covering this correctly. Is this real? Unfortunately, it is.
So as you probably already guessed,
one thing which I gotta say, Dokibird also messed up. I feel like there's just too much miscommunication, and there's just a lot of things that didn't go in her favor. I feel like also Dokibird low-key messed up on her side. But maybe, you know, she might have fixed things. But yeah, dude, it's just a messy situation. Something as simple as a PC, you build it, you send it to your fan. Now when it's the whole minutiae, the logistical issues, yeah, you know. And as well, dude, her management, you know, dude. But yeah, as well, let's see, but again, if it's not true, then I feel some type of way. But yeah, let's see.
A lot of this information shared in her video was a complete misrepresentation of what actually occurred, and Dokibird felt compelled enough by Katliente's video to release a Google Docs on Twitter.
Oh my gosh, Google Docs, the trend. I feel like every single, like now this is the whole trend in anime communities or VTuber communities. You know, if we want some tea, we release Google Docs, you know.
Explaining her side of the story and debunking pretty much everything that Kat said in that nearly 2-hour long hit piece. And of course, it's like, imagine being so foul that Dokibird releases a Google Doc on you. That's absolutely insane. But in this, I'm going to summarize what Dokibird said. So let's begin with the intro here. So, full statement on the charity auction and recent allegations. To everyone following the situation regarding the charity auction, I want to address the claims that have been circulating, particularly in a recent video. This has been an incredibly difficult experience, but I believe the full story deserves to be heard. First and foremost, I accept the handling of this auction item was far from ideal.
It was
I want to sincerely apologize to those impacted, especially the winner, for the delays and confusion, and I tremendously appreciate the patience and support the winner has shown me. I
feel like as well, you know, one thing which I always gotta criticize Dokibird with is that, dude, some of the things that her manager handles, it's always a confusion, miscommunication. You know, it's weird. I feel like something is wrong with the manager or something with Dokibird. Somewhere there is just a little bit iffy, you know?
Responsibility for how things unfolded, but I also need to be transparent about the challenges that were taking place behind the scenes. many of which have not been shared publicly until now. I feel that it is time that I share this with everyone, as I am coming to terms with what occurred in the summer. At the time of the auction was concluding, I was in the middle of a serious and distressing transition. My previous management team had taken full control of my brand, and I was actively working with lawyers and the police to reclaim ownership of Dokibird. During this time, I was also forced to move out of my home under police supervision, a situation so severe it required formal reports and the help of personal friends and staff. It was during this incredible...
I shares too much drama, yo. Bruh. Like, damn, we never knew VTubing was this serious. God damn, bruh. Yo, no, she's got too much drama. Oh my god, bro. Holy smokes.
Turbulent time that the charity item fell into the hands of my team while I was trying to survive and restart my life from the ground up. I won't go into too much detail, but this screenshot is a snapshot of how bad it was. And she'll go on to talk about how she passed this off to her management, some of which are no longer working with her, and there was a lot of miscommunication. That is very clear, right? And in this, the sort of giveaway here that was supposed to be happening, it kept taking more and more time. And it took about a year for a actual resolution to be met. But understand, like I said earlier, Kat puts all of the blame on Dokibird. She says, your actions of your manager are attributable to you. Yeah. There was no contract. There was no form.
Nah, that's true. That's true. Unfortunately, that comes with every territory. Not to say any drama or anything. Think about it. For example, like Kaisanat. Remember his cameraman, Chris. Whatever Chris does impacts the main guy, Kaisanat. So it's like that, and it's just like that, bro. That's business. That's how business is. That's how branding is. That's how it happens. Unfortunately, I gotta agree with Kat. Even though it's not Dokibird's fault, it wasn't her fault that all of this it happened in this way, which is messed up. But yeah, again, you can't be putting out competitions and next thing you start calling yourself a victim. Shit happens, bruh. Shit happens. Hopefully this shit, if it got sorted out, then yeah, it is what it is. It's water under the bridge, even though it took a year. But I mean, yeah, dude.
Full agreement. So the confusion on various ends was in part because of these managers. Kat is saying that misunderstanding is all on Dokibird. Please remember that standard
it's
when we
talk
talk about some things and some controversies that Kat is currently facing. So what are we even talking about with this PC? Well, here's the problem. There was a couple $1,000s spent on the charity auction. That's what the winner actually contributed. But what were they being charged? What was Dokibird being charged by this PC maker? Nearly $15,000. It started off at $6,000, then it went to $8,000, then to $12,000, then to $14,900.
Holy shit.
To build a PC. Now, I've never built a PC, but I'm sure people in the audience have done so.
Yeah, I've built my PC. $14,000. That's probably in my country because I'm from South Africa. Don't forget that. 14 times 20. That's like, maths is not mathsing. Dude, almost 100. Almost 100 and guys, the maths. 200 and not even 200, 260, 280,000. Damn, yeah, that's insane. 280,000 just for a PC. My PC cost 10,000, probably like $500. No, this PC was overpriced. What the fuck? No, they ripped it off. What is in this PC? Yo, I think where they fucked up was through the labor. Cause damn, the labor was 4K. Jeez Louise, bro. The PC probably cost 6K. And then the labor was 4K. And then, what? No, they fucked her. This PC cost 3K. Holy shit. Why didn't she build the PC herself? God damn, bro. That's insane. That's terrible, dude. That is terrible.
$15,000 to build a PC. I
No,
don't
they
think
fucked
so.
her.
And there was
Yeah,
also
they were
a
fucking her.
$4,000 cancellation fee being pushed onto Dokibird if she didn't want to follow through on this, which of course, again, there was no contract. There was no expectation of anything. So this person who was involved in making this PC
Also
was making up
screwing
terms
her.
as they went
Yeah.
and was trying to jack up the price of this entire build to the point of
Yeah,
absolutely...
this is the come up. This person was coming up off of Dokibird, bro. Holy smokes. This was their come up, for real, for real. Like, literally, people would come up off of you. This person's like, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna buy, bro, this is crazy.
ridiculous numbers, like $15,000
That's crazy.
to make this. Now, what did they actually do? What was the work that they provided that
Nothing.
would yield nearly
Nothing.
$15,000?
That's insane.
Here it is.
That's not
That's everything.
15K, bro.
This is everything. Start
That's not
to finish.
15K.
This is the only thing that the artist
Nah, they fucked
ever
them up.
provided. And also, by the way, the artist name was redacted in the Google Doc that Kat used, which, of course, is no longer available. She redacted all of the names except for Dokibird. This is so important that she has to fight for the justice of this artist.
This
but
artist,
won't
no,
share
this
the-
artist was tripping, bro. This artist was tripping, bro. Nah, Dokibird. I understand why it took a long time because, dude, the 15K, bro. Literally, for me, I was gonna tell this person this, bro. Keep my money and all of that, you know, because what the hell? What the helly? What the hell? 15K for a PC. What does this PC drive? Does it now all of a sudden fly? You know, god damn, that's a ripoff.
Her name.
That's a
Make it make
ripoff.
sense. Now, let me make this even more clear here. This artist, this PC builder, pretty much produced nothing. Even this art right here, this is an art
Bro,
reference sheet.
nah, this artist didn't do shit, bro. Like, legit, all of this stuff, bro, they did it in, dude, this doesn't even cost $100. Like, let's be realistic. Like, this is not a lot, bro. They ripped her off, dude. This was a come up. The artist literally, I understand why it took so long, bro. Because you can imagine she's going through the stress of her management, trying to get her accounts. Now, plus this shit of the art. Oh, my God. It must have been a disaster.
That was made in
It was a
2020 by a
disaster.
different artist. They were just using it as their own reference for this PC template. And as you can see, all they did was crudely copy and paste other images on top of this PC template and added a couple notes here and there. That's all they did. I'm sure you or me or anyone else who's not even good at this stuff could
do it.
probably produce something like this in a half an hour.
Nigga.
But they're charging nearly $15,000.
He's smart.
Well, guess what?
I gotta give it to the artist. Smart as ever.
Say, well, that's justified
Fuck the
because I
over.
spent 120 hours doing this. And of course, they asked Dokibird and her team, can we get a time-lapse video of the PC build? Can we get pics of anything that happened? Can you prove to us that you produced anything? And they refused.
Of course.
And now they want $15,000. And now Kat is making a video accusing
Nah,
Dokibird.
if I was Dokibird, like, this is now something I would have maybe done myself. She does, it's her fault for choosing this PC builder. You know, her and her team, whoever chose this PC builder guy, saw that, okay, this person is a big influencer. They're probably thinking she has money. You know, people, once they see clout, they see you have a lot of dollars. That's how it is. It was this come up. Basically, there should have been some contracts written. And I feel like a lot of illegal action should have been taken from Dokibird because, nah, this is wild. This is wild. You know, but legal action, of course, would cost more money. And, you know. Hey, dude, just insane. Insane.
Of scamming
Insane.
this artist
It
and
was-
shortchanging them when all they did was produce a reference sheet and then refuse to provide any evidence of the supposed 120 hours they put into making this PC that, for all we know, never actually existed.
Yeah.
So, Kat and also many Niji Sanji sycophants are attacking Dokibird. They're raking her over the coals for this because she didn't want to pay $15,000 for a reference sheet.
Nah.
Make it make sense.
That's insane.
Ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing is so ridiculous, and
That's
it's
insane.
even more ridiculous when you look at the pinned comment on this video, where there's so many updates on this, you can't even keep track of what's going on. She tries over and over again to basically double down on her original take and to say right here at the beginning, the buyer has been refunded the original amount and an extra $1,000. However, the artist involved hasn't been compensated at all.
Yeah, no, hell no. F the artist, bro. No, because the artist was tripping. The artist was, I swear to God, they were tripping. Nah, bro, you can't do that. You can't be charging people 15K and we're just gonna be, no, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The artist was wrong. That was a scam. Pure as the daylight robbery. You know, they were trying to rob this freaking Vtuber girl, bro. Like, that's insane. Kat, you need to also, like, why didn't you realize that, oh shit, this freaking artist is a crazy guy? That's insane. But shout out to her for giving the buyer, the original fan which won the competition, the full amount. That's awesome. Plus an extra 1,000K. That's how you treat your fans, not people that are trying to scam you. If the person that's trying to scam you, let's take it to court. Then if you feel that, okay, you're worth the 15K, sue me type shit. Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to Doki for doing that, you know?
I didn't include this yet, but yes, they came to an agreement. The winner of the competition,
that's awesome,
and Dokibird, they agreed privately, and they amicably agreed on a price. Instead of giving the PC, because this whole thing fell apart, they gave them thousands of dollars, including an extra $1,000 to go out and build their own PC. So that was solved privately before this video was ever even made. So they're rehashing drama on behalf of someone who is totally fine with the result. But they still double down on this. And they also say the poor artist hasn't been compensated at all.
No.
I'm sorry.
That artist was rubbish. No. There's no poor artist. That artist right there was coming up. That was their come up.
$15,000 for a weapon sheet. Like, are you serious? And really, the whole crux of her video, the entire basis, is trying to blame Dokibird for the actions of her management. Okay, she's saying, too bad, I know you're working through your managers, but they're responsible to you. So it's your fault. You're responsible for what your managers are doing.
Yes.
Boy, would that standard blow up in her face.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Again, if you have a representative, you chose the representative. Nobody put a gun to your head and say, you got to choose those managers. You chose your representative. They effed you over. Now you got to learn with the consequences, because they are what? They're Dokibird's managers. It's not just management. It's Dokibird's managers, you know? Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles, you know?
For some reason, she has decided over the past 2 days to rehash a controversy that happened in November of last year. So Kat got in some big trouble when she made this video about this Alicia VTuber here,
Red Queen,
where she basically clickbaited this woman's cancer diagnosis for a drama video.
Wow.
Obviously, that didn't go over very well. But again, this happened in November of last year, but now she's publicly addressing this, addressing the cancer clickbait incident with Alicia. There was a situation where Alicia, come on, dude. You didn't even proofread this? Where Alicia was hacked and lost access to their YouTube channel, and I had made a video about it titled something like VTuber with cancer was hacked. The VTuber publicly expressed on their Twitter that they did not want people to talk about their hacking situation, and I wanted to respect that and was going to delete the video. At this point, the video was not live. It was sitting as private on my channel. I should have deleted the video immediately to avoid miscommunication.
That's cap. That's bullshit. That's rubbish, you know?
With my editor, and that's my fault. However, while I was asleep, my editor posted the video without me knowing. Ding, ding, ding. So she's attacking.
So are we
Dokibird,
stupid? Are we stupid now? She definitely posted that, man. Even if the dude, it's someone in her team, someone represented her. It's her. Bro, like, we're not stupid. She posted that shit. Come on.
You can't pass this blame on your manager who's
it's
communicating
you.
with this
Yeah,
contest
it's you.
winner. You're wrong for that. It's your fault.
It's your
fault.
fault.
And then here, addressing a 6-month-old controversy, she passes all of the blame onto her editor, a third party, just like she's accusing Dokibird of doing. Ridiculous.
Funny.
Absolutely ridiculous. A completely ridiculous
being a
person
hypocrite
that we're dealing with here. And people are crucifying this woman. And I think rightfully so for this weird attempt to show herself as a good person. Again, addressing controversy that happened like 6 or 7 months ago. Why are we talking about this now amidst all of this controversy with the video on Dokibird, which is still up? It's got, I don't know why she's doing this.
Again, she never deleted the video. So it was her. Come on, bro. It was her. If she posted it and saw that, oh shit, this is getting me bad traction, she would have deleted it. But no, of course, it's for the views, it's for the clicks, it's for the things. It's her. Come on. Let's not be stupid, guys. Let's stop being stupid.
And also, I'm not gonna show it, but in her response to that VTuber, she also shared that she paid the VTuber money as like reparations or like compensation for making the video. She gave her like $150, but she posted a screenshot of the PayPal of this VTuber and crudely just drew like a thin line over her legal name. And you can see her legal name. She essentially doxed the woman. For what? I have no idea. It's so weird.
Yeah, no, of course, to try and expose. Yeah, nah, it's, yeah, she's crazy. I was about to say I like her, I don't like her, because some of her actions are a bit, you know, people are VTubers for a reason. They want to keep their privacy, but yeah, now she messy.
It seems like it's malicious.
It is
How
malicious.
else does that happen? How else do you end up in a situation like that where you're not censoring properly a legal name?
That's how it's
crazy.
It's
this whole
malicious.
situation is a disaster, and everything that this woman talks about blows up in her face because she's a tourist. She wants the attention, and unfortunately, the attention she is receiving now is negative because she botched another situation, this time involving Dokibird, among other VTubers as well. But that's going to do it for this video.
I guess one thing which I gotta say is, yeah, the Dokibird situation was all on Dokibird, but she resolved it. So it's very crazy for us to still be talking about this old situation. And what she did to that VTuber by her exposing her name was messed up. Yeah, the whole cancer video, she definitely posted that one. Oh yeah, and the one with the VTuber where she has cancer, yeah, definitely she posted it. It's still up on her channel. So you get me, like, if people post stuff and they don't delete it, come on guys, 1 + 1 is 2. Let's not be stupid, you know. But dude, you know, Cat in Chat is just another YouTuber which likes doing this drama. You know how it is. You saw that video of her in the beginning. That's how it is. That's how she is. That's the person she is. This is for her is business, you know. It is what it is for her, you know, man. I have nothing to say, dude. I don't like people like this. Oh, well. You know, it is what it is, guys. You guys tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.